On our morning show today, we're going to talk about GRACE, Greater Richland Area Cancer Elimination. We have members of the board, and the walk chair will be in with us a little bit later on. Leif Carlson is here, the chair of the Prevention Committee. Joanna Mell, a director of Patient Assistance. And also Alan Kaszubski is here. He'll talk a little bit about the upcoming race for GRACE and all the things going on here already this spring. That's good news. Spring does us all a little pretty well here, Leif, as we look at better weather, isn't it?
It's just great. And good morning, Phil. As chair of the Prevention Committee, we've got several things going on that I want the community to be aware of. One of them is called Walk Around the World with GRACE. And I want to just make sure that everyone in the community knows that this is a free event. You sign on at walkwithgrace.com at our GRACE website. And what you get is a free vest that you can wear out when you're out and about. And I hope people have seen people out walking with the nice blue vests on. And then you get to participate through exercise in helping to reduce cancer in our community. And so that's what we're walking around the world as a group to help reduce cancer. We've had about 302 people signed on for this year. And so far, our total is 8,500 miles, and so we're 1/3 of the way around the world at this point.
Do you compare year to year? Because I believe this is your third year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our third year. We're a little bit lower than we have been in the past, but the people that are participating are doing just a great job. So we have 302 people signed on, but they're not all entering all their miles. I think some people, for whatever reason, drop out of doing that, but they stay signed on with our group. But the ones who are participating are just doing a great job.
There's still time to join up, though, correct?
Exactly. And I have people every month still joining up. We go all the way through July. And again, there's no cost for joining up. You get a vest. You log your miles on a community spreadsheet that's private to everyone in the group. And we hope that it motivates you to exercise and reduce your risk of cancer by doing so.
Indeed. So, who knows how many you've been, getting some people, getting them up and moving. So who knows how many maybe have saved themselves from that fate, right?
Just this, yesterday I got an email from a member who said they were having trouble getting their miles recorded on the sheet, but they've got miles that they've been doing. And it just made me really, really happy to hear that.
That's great. Well, I know that you've been kind of focusing on different cancers, spotlighting those. And we talked about this earlier this year on the morning show, but March is a special month, isn't it?
Yeah, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to talk about it today. It'll be the second time on the morning show. I heard Dr. Dickman and Dr. May talk about it earlier this month, and they did just a great job. So I'm going to reiterate a few things that people can do to lessen their risk for colorectal cancer. And the most important thing is screening beginning at age 45. That's lowered from age 50, which it used to be. It's down to 45 because the cancer rates of colorectal cancer are increasing among younger ages. And so 45 now is the year that people should get screened. You can either do an at-home test like a Cologuard, or you can go in and get a colonoscopy done. Second thing that you can do for reducing your risk is eat a high-fiber diet. Again, with a walk around the world, we have potlucks once a month, and at those potlucks, we encourage people to bring Mediterranean diet dishes to share. And a high-fiber diet would be that lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. And then another thing related to colorectal cancer is lowering your consumption of red meats. So you want to increase your fruits, increase your vegetables, lower the red meats. A lot of you know that I'm married to a dietitian, Marcia, and so I've forever been eating as well as I can at home, and she keeps me on that real nice. It's really good. And she taught me something that I think people can think about. When you have a plate of food in front of you, if you divide it into 4 sections, half of that plate, 2 of those sections should be fruits or veg. And so like a salad, broccoli, any kind of vegetables, throw some fruit in there. 1/4 of that plate could be your protein source, and 1/4 of the plate your carbohydrate. And if you eat that way and eat a plate like that for your dinner, a plate like that for your lunch, you're generally going to meet the guidelines for a high fiber diet.
Have you ever thought about putting out a cookbook? Because I know you cook yourself, right?
I do cook myself. Yep. No, I've never thought of putting out a cookbook. But another thing with Walk with Grace, we do have these potlucks, and some of our one door prize that we give out every month is a Mediterranean diet cookbook. So that's something that.
Hey, Leaf, on the plate.
Yeah.
What's that?
Leaf, on the plate, does it matter whether like you double up on vegetables or double up on fruits?
No.
Okay.
You want to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you've got like just 1/2 of your favorite veggie that you want and of the plate, and then the other quarters like you described. So 1/4 carbohydrate, 1/4 protein, but if I really like green beans, I can have 1/2 plate of green beans.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when you finish that first plate, our recommendation at our house is you go back for the veg. If you're still hungry, eat some more veg.
More vegetables.
What about, Phil and I care about the dessert part too.
Yep, moderation.
Well, that's the fruit, though, right? You
Yeah,
can't the
could
fruit
be.
for vegetables,
Exactly.
or for dessert, right?
Okay, so more things on colorectal cancer lowering the risk is making sure you exercise. And so 2.5 hours of exercise per week is associated with lower cancer risks, including colorectal cancer is one of those that exercise will help you have a lower risk. And the final one I want to talk about, two more, maintain a healthy weight. So obesity is linked to higher rates of cancer for many forms of cancer. And so just maintain a healthy weight. You almost will guarantee that you're going to become a healthier weight if you join our Walk Around the World and walk your 2.5 hours per week. It'll happen. And finally, reducing alcohol. Alcohol use is tied to colorectal cancer. Oh, and smoking. Even smoking is tied to colorectal cancer. I'm not sure how that is, but it is related to it.
Yeah, you'd never think of that, would you?
Yeah, you want to quit smoking.
Right. Unfortunately, as the doctors pointed out, Richland County is fairly high in the rates for colorectal cancer, isn't it?
We are. Yep. And I'm not a doctor. I get my information from the CDC and the American Cancer Society, and that's where this stuff comes from. Then I'll double check with Mayo Clinic. And then again, hearing Dr. Dickman, Dr. May, everything that I talk about today is all of those sites agree on all of them, and the local doctors. I don't know why we have a higher incidence, but I just think if people can do some small lifestyle changes, start to exercise, eat a better diet, lower your alcohol, and quit smoking, I think as a community we could we could have a lower rate. It's almost for sure that we would.
And they can get involved in your Walk Around the World. I think that a lot of people, it's kind of positive peer pressure, isn't it? It's kind of like
A little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good, and it's working out pretty well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's really neat. I don't go through and see who's walked the most miles. I just don't do it. I don't want to be that leading a group of people where it's competitive of who's doing more than the others. But I do want just to encourage people to make sure that you do 2.5 hours a week of some form of movement. And it doesn't have to be walking. We do bike riding, dancing, rope jumping, whatever it is that gets your heart rate up to about around 120 to 140 in that range is, if you do that for 2.5 hours, you're going to be lowering your risk of cancer.
And maybe you can get involved in Allen's Walk, too, coming up in May, right?
Absolutely. So that's part of our prevention committee is the Race for Grace. It's coming up May 17. Alan's going to be talking about it. I want to put a plug in for volunteers. So anybody who is not going to be in the race, I would like you to get in touch and become a volunteer. I need volunteers to help direct people on the race course, to hand out water on the race course, and just It's a couple hours on a Saturday morning in May, and it's going to be beautiful weather.
It really was last year.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah. So
You guys better not be jinxing for the day of the race.
I will never jinx it.
it goes on rain or shine, though, doesn't it?
It will, yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add, Leif?
No, so that's it. I just want to say I missed February. I'm trying to do this every month. I missed February. We were in New Zealand on a walk around the world. We were on the other side of the world, and Marcia and I walked every day. Yeah, it was just fabulous.
I bet it was. Sure.
Yeah.
And what the fairly similar climate there where you were at? Or?
So if you can imagine 78 degrees, sunshine, and no humidity for 22 straight days, that's what it was.
That was awesome.
It was pretty good.
Well, we missed you, but then again, you were gone for a good cause. So.
Okay,
Good.
thanks, Phil.
Thanks for coming in, Leif. Alan, certainly some good topics there, and Leif pointing that out. It's all about getting up and getting moving, and I think that's what you want to talk about here today for sure.
Absolutely, Phil. And Leif already mentioned it, but the Race for Grace on May 17th will be coming up soon. And one important date that is coming up really, really soon is March 31st. And for people that want to register and like a good deal, you want to sign up before March 31st. Go to our website, walkwithgrace.com, and look for the information about the Race for Grace, and you can register online. You can also pick up a paper registration form at the Grace office, and we're open from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 until 3, and the office is located above Royal Bank in Richland Center. We also have paper forms available at Simon's at the front desk as well.
Okay. What's the response been like so far? Any idea?
It's been amazing.
Good.
It's only our second year, so I don't have a lot to base it on, but my goal was to grow it, and so far so good. As far as people signing up, we have more people signing up now at this time than we did at the same time last year, which is great. And business sponsorships have been just tremendous. Again, we've got, I think we announced at the last morning show, but Jewel Associates Engineers is sponsoring our start finish line, so I'm super excited about that. That's great. We'll see their banner up there. I'd also want to shout out to not only I've had many T-shirt sponsorships from many businesses, which is awesome, but I also had a special donation from Walsh's Ace Hardware, and I just want to shout out to them in Richland Center here and thank them for that. Very generous people. And I appreciate all their support for it.
Oh, you couldn't do it without the sponsors, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah. So, Phil, you're going to be busy on that morning,
Talking
maybe 100
fast.
times. All the names, it's a long list, but it'll be great.
Yeah, it will be. And you have the new start finish line that we talked about the last time?
Yeah, we do. We got it all together. We know we have all the parts. So
it works, huh?
It works. We're excited for that. We have to get the banners ordered yet, but we'll get that and be ready for race day. And just to let people know again, if you haven't heard, the race is on May 17th, and there's a 1/4-mile kids run, a 1-mile run or walk, a 5K fun run or walk, and a 10K run. So we have something for everyone, whether you're a walker or a runner, you like short distance, long distance. We kind of wanted something for everyone so they wouldn't feel left out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do, and I think it's going to be maybe new and improved too. Because last year, you learned a few things, and people wanted to see the fire departments.
Yes.
So how is that going to be kind of staggered or coordinated so people can cheer them on?
Yeah. So good question, because last year we had, I believe it was 38 different firefighters that participated in the 1-mile firefighter challenge, and we're doing that again, and we have the same teams from last year, plus a team from the Richland Center Police Department and the Richland County Sheriff's Department. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we're going to start all of those teams with the 1-mile and all the 1-mile walkers and runners first. So that will be right after the national anthem. So it'll be right around 7:30 in the morning on the 17th that we'll start them off. So we'll have everyone that can gather around and cheer them on as they're going around the course in Crosscut Park. And if you're not interested in, partaking in one of the race events, come on out to Crosscut Park that morning and cheer these people on. I mean, all the firefighters are volunteers, right? And if you haven't heard, they're going to wear their turnout gear. So they've got their heavy coats on. Some of them will be wearing air tanks, helmets. So it's the real deal, and it's a real workout for them. You know, you think of mile, is it that far? Well, it is when you're wearing that extra heavy gear. And I tell you, the people that participated last year really enjoyed it. And this year, last year, they crossed the finish line all together at the same time, which was really cool and very special. This year, it's sounding like they want the competition part of it. So we're going to let those firefighter teams compete against each other, and we'll see who's fastest this year.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting, and I think there's going to be some bragging rights between the sheriff's department and the, EMTs, and that's going to be kind of fun camaraderie as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I've already heard there's been some trash talking going on, in a friendly way, of course. But we love the friendly competition. But more than that, Phil, the thing that I really like about it is it gives these group of people, Leaf talked about it, 2.5 hours a week, get moving. It gives this group of people extra incentive to get in even better shape than they are currently. It gives them a target. They can start, it's getting warmer out now. They can start putting a heavy pack on, go do that mile route or maybe a little further. So when it comes race day, they're just cruising right along. So we really like that part of it too, just to help them give a little extra incentive to be even better shape.
You're going to spread the word for runners and walkers from throughout southwest Wisconsin. I know it's a pretty tight-knit community, so hopefully a lot of the local runners and walkers are telling their friends, right?
I hope so, yeah. So if you know someone that might be interested that's not from the area, please spread the word, or even in the area. Help us get the word out, because sometimes word of mouth, is more meaningful than anything, right? If you know someone or you hear from someone from a fun event like this, it means a lot. So we're looking forward to that. And then again, early registration, you want to do that by March 31st. And after March 31st, so starting April 1st, the price for each event goes up $5. And the other date that's important, Phil, is by May 2nd, if you want it. So we're going to have a T-shirt and a swag bag, and you can see the details of what's going to be in the swag bag on walkwithgrace.com. That might grow a little bit, but there's some really neat things out there already, but I'm not going to, just go look. There's something for everyone. But you have to be registered by May 2nd to be guaranteed a T-shirt and a swag bag.
That's an important thing to know, too. I know the shirts were pretty stylish last year. Can you let us in on what they're going to look like this year?
Yes. Last year they were orange and had a really nice design. This year they're going to be purple. That was a very special request from a very important person in my life, and happens to be my wonderful wife, Terry. So we're going with purple this year. And we've got a really cool design on the front. And also the back as well, and also all of our sponsors will be on the back of the T-shirt as well.
So get your registrations in so you can have one, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll come back to Alan in just a little bit. As we mentioned, Joanna Mell is here, and Joanne, we want to welcome you to the broadcast. How have you been lately?
Very good, Phil. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here. Good morning.
Good morning. In terms of some of the behind-the-scenes things for Grace, it's been a while since we've really talked about that. I might have you pull that microphone over a little bit closer to you. It's been a while since we've talked about that. So could you go over kind of the process when someone applies and how that works?
Yes. So to apply to get some Grace assistance, what you need to do is fill in a 3-page application. And do it as completely as you can. On the first page, you'll be putting your name, your address, and make sure and put your township in, and also your diagnosis. And once I get an application, I assign a case number to you. So you will not be known by anybody on the committees or on the board. You will have a case number just as you would have in the hospital. On the second page, we want you to sign that. That is the disclosure for health information. And once we get your application in, I will call your physician to verify that you do have cancer. And we need to have this disclosure signed. And then the third page is signed by the physician. And that all needs to be done too before I can go along with the procedure. So once we get that all done, then what I do is I send the application to the board member of the committee, of my committee, and I'm looking for votes to approve it. So we'll get an approval and a first and a second, and once that's done, then we can go ahead and help you with your application. Once that's approved, then I will be sending you a letter, and the informatory letter will give you the date that you have been approved for, and it will be for a year, and then the amount that you've been approved for. So that this year now, our numbers are higher. For the first year, you're eligible for $2,750. If it's a second year case, you will get $2,250. For a third year, it's $1,250. And we've added a fourth year now, and that's $500. And so we can give that out in gift cards is one way. We've got $50 and $100 gift cards to both Walmart and to Quick Trip. We can also pay bills. But something that I do want to make sure that we all know is we cannot reimburse. So if you have a bill that needs to be paid, don't pay it. Send the bill to the Grace office, and we will then pay it. Every check needs to be written to an entity. The letter that I'll be sending you will give you the address of the Grace office. It's box 213. And you can also call when you need gift cards. The number listed on the letter is 608-604-2900. And those calls will go to the phone in the office.
That's a lot of good information to know, and I guess good to reiterate that as well. Someone could take them as take the money as gas cards, for instance, as well.
Absolutely, and any of the cards for Quick Trip can be used for anything in the store. And the same with Walmart. Can't be used for alcohol or cigarettes, but anything else. In fact, sometimes we buy new tires for people. Often people have had changes in their weight. They need new clothes. All kinds of things that we can assist with.
If someone requests a certain amount, let's say they need $500, it's their first year, then can they come back and
Yes.
if they need more?
Yes, absolutely. Every time that you use up your cards, and usually we try and keep it to sending out no more than 500 of any kind. And then once you've used that up, just give a call. And I'm in the office every Tuesday, and I do take calls during the week, and I'll go in different times and attend to needs. I send out gift cards, and just go ahead and give a call, and we'll go ahead and do it.
Unfortunately, Joanne, there is a need. I think you've been pretty busy, haven't you, lately?
We have been very busy, Phil. We've had lots and lots of new first-time applications, much more than last year. I usually keep track, but I don't have numbers now. But typically, we're having close to 10 cases a month. Yeah.
So then the board votes on those
Yes.
each month then? Is that
Yes.
how it works?
Once they've been approved by committee, we don't have to wait for the board to verify it, but they will then verify all the numbers. I will present that at the board meeting on the second Tuesdays of the month, and it will again be just by case number. And then the board will vote to verify it.
I know it's sad, but also it's got to be, kind of for you to do this. It's got to make you feel pretty good to be able to help in that way, isn't it?
It's something that I really enjoy. I was a nurse for 50 years, and I enjoyed my career. I was glad when I retired, but I soon found out that shopping and going out for coffee wasn't enough. So when I had a chance to join the board, I got to do what I enjoy doing, and that's working with patients. So even after I go off the board, I'm going to continue to volunteer and work with the patients. I've gotten to know several people who come up and we chat, have a good visit. People call. We can share information. I've had cancer too, so I know a little bit about what people are going through. And I always say I get the best job on the board. I'm very lucky.
Mm-hmm. So the fundraising is underway, and it's such a neat organization because the money is going to a good cause. It's not going to some CEO somewhere or something.
That's the beauty of having a local organization, whereas the American Cancer Society does a lot of good, but all of their money goes to research, whereas our money goes directly to different percentages to research, but the rest to patients. And the amount that's spent for needs to run the organization, I think, are at 3 or 4%. Is that right, Ellen?
Actually, we're down to 2%.
We're down to 2%. So, I mean, I'm proud of that. It goes right to the community, and we've had several people in other towns call for assistance, and I've made a list of the coalitions that are available in Wisconsin, and there aren't that many. There's one in Sauk County, there's one in Grant County, we have one, and I think there's another one too.
Iowa, too.
Yes, Iowa, yes.
Iowa County.
Yes. And so sometimes we'll have people who live in dual counties, and when the need is great, I can refer them also there. Yeah.
We've talked about the Grace service area. That has been expanded a little bit.
It has been. We actually expanded it last year. We do cover Richland County, Crawford. We used to do only Clayton, but we now do Marinetta and Scott. We do Grant County, including towns of Boscobel, Muscadet, and Waterstown, townships rather. Iowa County, Pulaski, and Wyoming Township. Sauk County, we do Bear Creek, Ironton, Lavelle, Spring Green, Washington, and Woodland Townships. And in Vernon, we do Greenwood, Kickapoo, Liberty, Stark, Union, and Webster Township. That's why it's important when you're filling in an application to make sure and use your township. Because sometimes I've got 5 maps going, trying to figure where you are. We used to have zip codes, and Alan's really fixed it up this year, so it's much nicer. Did I say we're covering Boscobel? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's an expanded area, and I'm guessing, and that might be part of the reason why you've been a little bit busier, too.
It may be. It seems that a lot of them actually have been local in the last few months. Yeah.
As a nurse, too, we heard Leif talking earlier here, too, about prevention. And that's one of the things where, we can all do a little bit better, isn't it?
We sure can. That's something we discuss when people are there, and diet is one of the very important essentials, and exercise. Those are things that you really need to do to keep yourself healthy. And when you're going through treatment, you need to take care of yourself. You need to get your rest. Those aren't the times where you need to start cleaning closets. When you've had your treatment, it's okay to go home and take a nap. A lot of people are nervous about that. They're used to being eager beavers in the house, and I just reassure them, nope, go home and take a rest. You deserve it.
There's a fine line, too, because, you're nervous, but stress is not a good thing for fighting cancer either.
No, you're totally right. No. If we can keep calm, whatever it is that you can do, whether it be prayer, whether it be meditation, listening to music, those are things to keep yourself calm because the body heals better.
If somebody has some questions, Joanne, maybe like where they're at, or if Grace can help someone, they can always contact you, can't they?
Absolutely. I'm always available. And my number is on the letter that I send. It's 608-604-2900. Those calls go to my phone also. So I'm able to talk to people during the week, and I'm pretty good about answering my phone.
Wonderful. Anything else you want to add this morning?
I think that's it. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Okay, wonderful. Joanna Mell coming in to join us here in the Morning Show studios as well. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about Grace. In fact, Alan Kazubski has a few more notes on this month's show that we dedicate to Greater Richland Area Cancer Elimination. That's coming up. Welcome back to our morning show from WRCO Radio. We're talking about Grace today. Alan Kazubski is in the studio with us, and we touched a little bit on your upcoming walk, but I think it really hit the ground running now that it's spring, don't you?
Absolutely, Phil. I just, listening to Joanne talk about, the local cancer patient assistance, just a few thoughts kind of came into my mind. I just want to reiterate the fact that Joanne is the only one that knows who is applying for assistance. So when we get together monthly at our board meetings, we have a case number, but I have no idea who that case belongs to. So from a PII perspective, we keep that in a locked area. Joanne is the only one that knows about it, and we're really proud of that fact, and we want people to know that we take confidentiality seriously. And we want to, make people aware of that. And And we really care about that, but also, even more importantly, we want to help people, which is great. And speaking of helping people, I do have some numbers that I brought with me. So for February, we had a total of 10 applications. 8 were first-time cancer diagnosis. And like Joanne said, those people get up to $2,750 each. 1 was a third-time cancer diagnosis, and 1 was a fourth time. So that's $1,250 and $500. So for that February application count, that's $23,750 that Grace needs to make sure that they have funds for to help those people out. So I share that number, for a couple of reasons. One, to highlight the fact that we are helping people, but we're also continually looking for more donations, right? The need has not gone away. Like Joanna said, there's been a lot of applicants this year and a lot of first-time applicants, which makes me want Grace to push even harder on the prevention side, right? Like Leaf was talking, join the Walk Around the World. It's, any little bit of extra inspiration to get you moving, to do that 2.5 hours of activity a week. We want you to do that to help yourself. And hopefully you can avoid being one of the people battling this horrible disease. So I just want to highlight, the other thing I wanted to highlight too is, how do you get the application information? You can go to walkwithgrace.com. You can come into the Grace office. Some of the doctors, the local doctors, have the application forms themselves or can get access to them. And so we have multiple ways. And if you know someone that's involved with Grace, they can always get that for you as well.
I think your number kind of drives it home a little bit, though, because, we talk about the, I guess I would say, astronomical figures that Grace pulls in during the year. And you think, well, they have a lot of money. But at 23 grand a month or whatever, it doesn't take long to drain those amounts, does it?
Yeah, it can add up quick, which is, we're not in financial danger, but we're always in financial need. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just amazed by the amount of support that Grace gets. And, Joanne talked about that service area too, where we cleaned it up, where it's all of Richland County and all of the bordering townships to Richland County. And if you don't have all those memorized from what, Joanne said, go to walkwithgrace.com, go to the About area. We have a nice map, a visual, so you can see what that area is. But that whole area, is not, it's sparsely populated, right, Phil? I mean, we don't have that many people in Richland County in that bordering area, but yet we've raised over our 22 years over $5 million, which is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it continues to amaze, and you have lots of teams that are kind of thinking outside the box, and not only your walk that day, but I know there's a quilt gala going on that night as well, the 17th. Another way that maybe Grace can reach a new crowd, right?
Absolutely. So I love the creativity, and who helps Grace, right? Who are the people that are helping Grace? There's the Walk with Grace teams, which is why we've got the quilt gala coming up, because one of the Walk with Grace teams had this great idea, like, let's try this new fundraiser. We love new fundraisers, right? All the excitement around it, and hopefully, it's successful. So go to it, people, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing we're doing this year is the car raffle. So you could get a 2025 Chevy Trax. We're selling tickets at a lot of different locations. Go to walkwithgrace.com to see all the different ones, or just keep an eye out for where the car is, because usually near the car are tickets. And currently it's at Julie Cairns State Farm Insurance in Richland Center. So, head on over there, say hi to Julie, and also get a raffle ticket as well.
It's a nice car.
It's a very nice car.
It sticks out.
Yes, it's a pretty blue, but it's, right now we have it wrapped. And that wrap does come off, so that will come off, as some people are concerned about that. But it's very nice, and just a shout out again to Jones Chevrolet. They've been so helpful and moving the vehicle around for us and supporting Grace. It's just been wonderful. So that's just that's some of the examples of who helps Grace. but there's more, right? So we've got the walk that June's going to talk about a little bit coming up. With the walk, there's going to be the bucket raffle, the silent auction, and the radio auction again, I believe, right, Phil?
We just had a meeting on that this week, our first meeting, and so look for some letters to be coming out in the mail for area businesses that have and individuals that have donated in the past. So going to be doing that again, but that's the last days of July, first 2 days of August, so you can mark that on your calendar.
Great. And, just all the business support has just been phenomenal. There's so many businesses that had supported the Race for Grace. There's so many that support the Walk with Grace. And there's additional businesses that help the Walk with Grace teams when they have their individual fundraisers too. So we really appreciate it, the generosity from all the different areas in our service area. It's just wonderful. And then there's some people that aren't directly tied to Grace, aren't directly tied to one of our main events, that just do stuff on their own to raise money for this great organization. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of those. The Bindles, again, I talked with Amy Bindle and her crew, her family, so supportive of Grace. They have been for many, many years. They're doing the flower selling again, so keep an eye out at the corner on Bindles. Tire and Auto in Richland Center. Soon they'll have the flowers out there again, and all the proceeds from that she donates directly to Grace, which is just wonderful. And then the other, I don't have the total amount yet, but the Polar Plunge up in Cazenovia, I heard that they have a really big amount coming our way from their final event, their final plunge. So, people like that. There's so many people that help out Grace, and it's just overwhelming.
Will the car be making an appearance in some of the upcoming parades?
We hope so. Yes, we hope so. The goal will be to be in as many parades as possible. So again, who helps Grace? Well, you can help Grace, right? Our listeners, if you're interested in participating in a parade, we need people that can walk the parade route to either hand out some flyers or some stickers, or potentially maybe even try to sell some raffle tickets.
Indeed. Anything that you'd like to add this morning, Joanne? We've kept you in the corner quiet here during this segment, but
just one more thing: to pick up applications, we can also mail them, and we've got some in the office too. I think you can get them also at one of the pharmacies at the Family Prescription Center.
One of the things I thought about too, and Alan was talking about this too, about how Grace, it's not known who the recipients are. And so over the years, the Grace Board, they've had people come up to them and say, thank you for, and it's a surprise. It's the first that the Grace Board members have heard about it.
You are so correct. Many people have said the same thing. They've had people come up to them and thank them for the help, and they didn't know they were recipients because we use case numbers, which is awesome.
I think it's very important.
It's very awesome. Many people are very open about who they are, and some people want to keep their information quiet, and it should be kept quiet. It should be protected.
You bet. Alan, anything else that you'd like to add?
Just once again, Phil, I'd just like to thank you for having us here this morning. All the support from WRCO, it's greatly appreciated.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. Thanks, Joanne, and thanks to Alan. We'll have more coming up about the walk. Leif Carlson was here earlier, but thanks to Joanne Amell and Alan Kaszubski as well. We'll have a few more tidbits about the upcoming walk and the kickoff night when we return. Wrapping up our morning show conversation today, June Nee, chairperson of the Walk for Grace, is our guest. My wife, June, and good to have you in here to the studio to wrap it up here today.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Good morning.
Good to have you back in the studio with us. So let's talk a little bit about some upcoming important dates, including when will the actual kickoff be for this year's Grace?
Yes, we're really excited to get Walk with Grace kicked off officially, and that's going to be Thursday evening, May 15th. That's the night we would normally have our regular walk committee meeting, but in May we do our kickoff. That is going to be at the community center, and it will begin with a pancake supper, free will offering. And we'll start that I think I have the doors, we're going to open about 4:30. 4:30, and we'll start serving at 4:30. That is thanks to the Kiwanis Club of Richland Center, and I want to thank Steve Kolstad for helping me with that again this year. And so we're going to have the pancake supper, and then that'll be the night when teams come in, bring your registration money, and that is still $150 this year. And register your team, get your packets. We'll also have a short informational meeting that'll start around 6 p.m. And we'll also introduce our ambassadors at that time.
Can you give us an update? How did you do in terms of people submitting ambassadors this year?
Yes. Wow, Phil. We had 8 ambassador nominations, and I think that's the most we've had in the last few years that I've been walk chair. And I just want to thank everyone who nominated someone this year. But it also made our job really hard because they were 8 wonderful nominations. Every one of them we were honored to have. But unfortunately, we have to get down to 4. So we picked our 4, and I'm in the process of confirming with those 4 at this time. And they will be introduced at the kickoff night in May.
So just to make it clear, they were picked out of a hat, right? So
Yes.
You didn't show favoritism to anybody? Or anything?
No, we wouldn't do that. Like I said, all of them were amazing, or they are amazing. And so it was hard. I wish I could have had all 8. That just makes it hard for us to do. But we had to get down to 4. And basically, what we do is we keep ones that maybe weren't selected last year. And so there was one that didn't get selected last year, and we checked to make sure they still wanted to do it this year. And then the other 3 were picked. Pretty much I folded them and put them like a deck of cards, and one of my committee people picked 3 more. So it's really hard, but that's, to me, was the fair way to do that. And so, but we'd love to have all of them. And those will be kept, the ones that weren't selected this year will be kept for next year. And we will check with them again if they wish to be nominated again.
Wonderful. Some other things, themes and colors, and has that all been announced yet?
Yes, it has. Excuse me. Yes, our theme this year is in memory of Bob Uecker. It was tough because we had a couple of really good ideas, but in the end, I think people were really excited since we lost Bob Uecker to do this. So it's cancer gone, get up, get out of here. And then so that is our theme, kind of the baseball theme. And then our colors are going to kind of be around that Brewers color. You know, we never know what's going to be available as far as T-shirts, but our colors will be kind of a blue, and then I think the raffle tickets will coincide and maybe be like a yellow or a gold to coincide with the Brewer blue and yellow colors.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, we had some really good ideas out there. And so, but this one just worked for this year. The majority won out on that one. So
the colors will also kind of go along with that car that we're raffling off too, right?
Yes, that was the other. We had a theme kind of around the car that we're raffling off as well. And so, yeah, the blue will kind of coincide with that beautiful blue car.
Well, I've noticed a few more people attending your committee meetings and all of those things, but you can always use more, can't you?
Oh, yes. I want to take this time just to say thank you to my committee chairs and those that are on the committees as helpers. I couldn't do this job without them, and I have an amazing group of people. And so I just am indebted to them. This job is much easier because of them. So I wanted to take this time to thank them. And yeah, we've had some great attendance at our first few meetings, and that's amazing. And so I hope that that will continue. But yes, we can always use help. The one area that I really could use a publicity chair. I do have members who are on this committee, but I really need someone who kind of has that background, or that would be able to contact the newspaper for me. As of right now, I'm going to be doing that part, but I could really use somebody that maybe would help out in chairing the publicity committee and just kind of helping out and making sure we're getting our information out there.
Okay, so that would be a place where someone could volunteer. Anything else that is needed by Grace?
Well, I'm sure as always there's always something that comes up that I could use, help in. I know that a lot of the committees could use extra helpers on it. And people are welcome to come and join our meetings. They're always the third Thursday of each month, and at 6 p.m. up the Grace office, which is above Royal Bank downtown. You're welcome to come and just kind of listen and see if there's something that maybe, you want to help in a small way, or if you want to help in, more of a bigger role. That would be great. You're very welcome to join us. And you could get a hold of me by going on the Grace, I think it's walkwithgrace.com, and there should be an area where you could leave a message, and then Eileen or one of the other board members will get a hold of me.
Things really get going because you'll have the kickoff on May 15th, and then that Saturday will be the Race for Grace. Well,
yes. I know May is an exciting month for Grace, and I am so excited for this Race for Grace. This is something I've wanted to have happen for years, so I'm grateful to Alan that he's put in this hard work to do that. I myself am excited. I'm signed up and ready to start training here soon.
And then the Quilt Gala is that same night.
Yes, I'm excited for that too. Get to dress up fancy, and I'm saving back my pennies for to bid on a quilt. So May is, that whole, week in May, the 15th to the 17th. It's an exciting time to get kicked off with Grace and some Grace events. So I really hope people will come out and join us. If you haven't signed up for the Race for Grace yet, please do. Also, the Walk Around the World with Grace. That's so much fun, too, to do with our community.
No doubt about it. Well, thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
You bet.
Thank you.
June Nee, walk chair for this year's Greater Richland Area Cancer Elimination Walk, which is coming up in August. It's August 8th. Is that correct? And our radio auction is the week before, in case anybody wants to put that on their calendar as well. Thanks for joining us for today's edition of The Morning Show.